Hey guys, just a quick note. I know there's an update out. This is old footage, and I'd rather put this out than put it out later and have things be super confusing. So in about 3 episodes, we'll be getting to the new update. Sorry, but hope you guys enjoy anyway. Okay, so we've got not exactly what I call the best setup, but whatever. I'll make it work. I kind of want to... we're gonna do melee runs, melee-ish. When I say melee runs, I mean like, I want to mess around with things. Ideally, I'd actually really like to get that damage buffer. Seeing as that's like the most broken thing in the game right now, I want to see just how far we can take that. Because I really want to be able to, mess around with the game a little bit and kind of break it hard. And seeing as that's the only thing that is like truly abusable, we might as well make the most of that. Alright, so let's get rid of the broadsword, which is garbage. I hope they change it, and I hope they make it good. Whoops. Hi. Okay, but yeah, I'm hoping we can find the damage booster very specifically, because I want to try it with the different skills available in the game. Like, I actually, like, completely keep forgetting about this. Let's put one into strength. I'm gonna be going for kind of a hybrid run-ish. I don't know. I clearly should not have. Should be fine. Okay. So now we've got the, Destructor. So I guess we'll be okay. Okay, yeah, so I keep forgetting about this. Whenever we get the damage booster actually applies to, every single thing. It's not just melee. I just keep, doing that because I'm not paying attention. And because the whip is ridiculous. But it actually works with a whole host of skills and abilities. Whoa! That was weird. But so, like, specifically, I want to try it with the, magnetic grenade. I want to try it with, some of the turrets. I want to see what actually is affected by the damage booster. So ideally, we find it today. And we test everything out. And if we can't, whatever, I'll just do other things. Doesn't need to be a damage booster run. But I'd like to. Because it's also completely ridiculous. I hope they balance it, but I'm not sure how I hope they balance it. Because on one hand, it's like crazy unbalanced. On the other hand, it's like the only way that you can win right now. I mean, obviously you can win if you're really good at the game without it at the, like, in the current stage. But, I don't know. Also, no porter to the ossuary. Not that it really matters. We actually want to go to the toxic sewers. Ossuary is way more dangerous. Okay, so he's got not much. Right, let's max out the infantry bow. If I'm going to be using and abusing that, we might as well make the most of it. Okay, good on HP. And let's continue on. Game for me to check out on Steam called Sword Coast Legends. I looked into it. Unfortunately, Sword Coast Legends kind of... Wasn't Sword Coast Legends, like, really bad at release? I mean, either way, CRPGs are kind of... They're awesome, but they're just such a... They're such long games. The only CRPG I'm, like, really stoked about is Divinity Original Sin 2. Apparently, Divinity Original Sin 2 is going to be going 1.0 in, I want to say September? Whoops. Which I'm really stoked about because I absolutely adored playing that game with Keith. If you duck, they go right over your head. Well, that's useful. Ow. Let's see, what if you made, damage booster scale with strength instead? Honestly, I actually appreciate the fact that the damage booster scales with skill. Mainly because that way, if you're going with like a skill-based playthrough, you can, if you're doing like a really heavy skill-based playthrough, you can still have the opportunity to do melee. You just have to do something slightly different. I'm aiming the other direction. Well, okay. You know, you could boost up your damage and do sorts of things. I mean, the main problem is just the fact that this game is so, like, hybridy, it kind of doesn't even matter. Because it's very rare that you actually get to, like, build one way or another. I don't remember the last time I had... Ow. I don't even remember the last time I had, like, 10 skill points. Probably should actually be using my, my harpoon turret. Especially because it's got piercing. Whatever. Oh, skill points only decrease your cooldown by like 1/10 of a second after the first one. That's kind of disappointing. It makes sense, but still sucks. Huh. Oh, he did his dodge. What is going on? I notice this sometimes when I'm like going up and over, when I'm going up and over stuff. It just does not work right. Okay, this is risky. We're fine. Okay, what do we got down there? Heavy crossbow? One thing I was thinking about is with like these pipes to go up and down, I really wish you had to press down and A to go through them. I cannot count the number of times that I've gotten like screwed up because I'd like try and duck here or like get around and it's just like, oh, you're on the pipe now, and it's like, ha, that's not what I wanted. Oh, it's okay. Anyway, multiple bolts at once. New. Okay. We've got the old sewers. Now this isn't super helpful. What else we got down here? Ooh, shop. Shop. Shop has HP up. And infantry bow 3. Well, I mean, I've got loads of money, so I might as well get it. Really does not actually increase the damage that much, so it's probably not worth it, but... I was hoping I'd get one that actually pierced. But that's okay. Scary. Gonna get out of here. At least we got the health up, and we get a damage up. This is good stuff. Okay. Yeah, no, it's... I'm in like brain fart mode. I think I gotta turn up the music a little bit more. It's like quiet, so it's edge of my attention and it's messing with my head. I don't know. Let's see. Let's just keep happen again with the dumb pipes. Ow. Well, at least we can get some of our HP back. No, there were a bunch of carrots, but the carrots were on the previous floor. I really don't like these scorpions. There we go. Perfect. Thank you, infantry bow. Thank you, strength upgrades. Oh, and we got another rune. I'm getting pretty good at spotting them. But yeah, I agree with chat saying that this game does not exactly have the greatest of depth when it comes to upgrades and stuff. Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's early access, so it's going to be a while before, like, this game fully gets, quote-unquote, there. My only hope is... that was scary. These bats are surprisingly hard to hit. My only hope is that they take it slow and actually, like, make it work. Hey, cluster bomb. Cluster bomb 4. And biters come from my target. Sweet. I'm just hoping that they don't, like, totally squander what they have by, like, trying to rush it or something. But I do hope that they, to some degree, keep development going fairly quickly. They put out an announcement the other day, talking very specifically about, like, not wanting to promise too much for early access and stuff like that. And I find this is actually a really common problem with indie games in general, that a lot of the developers will, like, release on Steam or wherever. Do we want to go strength? I guess I'll keep going strength. If we get the damage multiplier, it'll scale anyway. And if we don't get it, whatever. I did kind of promise I was going to try and do some more melee runs. There we go. We should probably just start pouring points into HP, though. Let's see. But yeah, a lot of games will, like, release on early access. Maybe a little bit too early. And so you end up with this, like, really cool product that won't be done for, like, a very long period of time. And it's rough. Because, like, you want to play more of it, but you end up just being like, eh. I guess I'll just come back to this later, and then later becomes never. And so you end up with, like, a graveyard of really good indie games that just never get finished because people lose interest in it. Which is rough. Okay, also found something interesting. You cannot get a take double damage and deal double damage weapon that also has... Oh, interesting. So you can't get a... Well, no, that makes sense. Those are kind of like in different classifications to begin with. Death Orb 3. Ooh. No, let's not do Death Orb 3. I use it way too often. Let's see. Seeing as it's being brought up, Vagante is actually a very good example of that kind of development. Vagante was honestly probably the predecessor to this game in terms of like really cool content and like interesting ideas and so on and so forth. But slow development and poor balance making it really hard to get into. Oh. Okay, we gotta kill the archer first. I guess I'll just nuke him from here. Thank you. I was worried about that for a second. Ooh, Assassin's Dagger 5. Yeah, that's worth it. If we can get Phaser, we're going to be very strong. That'll be good. Let's see. So what do I want to do? We want to go down this direction. But, yeah, Vagante was super solid, and I've been meaning to go back to it to take a look. It's such a merciless game. Probably harder than this one, honestly. Just in terms of... mainly just how long it takes to get to the very end. Let's see. We don't want to go to the ramparts, though. What? Where's the... Oh. Oh, the door to the old sewers is... Yeah, there we go. This direction. Like, I want to go back to Vagante to take a look at it, but I know, it would take so long to, like, remaster the gameplay. It's keeping me off. Even better example, I guess, would be Catacomb Kids. That game was just so blisteringly difficult that, like, the idea of going back to it is just like, I don't really want to... I know I'm just going to get my ass kicked, so it's just kind of like, let's stay away from that one forever. So can't he destroy timed doors? No. That'd be nice, but no. But yeah, no, I don't know. Early access roguelikes it's a very hard thing to maintain. Especially roguelikes, because the content is designed to be repetitive. Like, what's a good example of an early access game where it kind of doesn't matter? Well, let's say like Minecraft. Does this guy even have a backside? No, it doesn't look like it. Oh. Ow. Okay, well at least we get most of our HP back. I mean, I guess like sandbox games can do fairly well by being very specifically like early access and just having like more and more features. I don't know, trying to think about it. I mean, I guess sandbox games are good examples of games that can survive early access, but a lot of other games can't. I mentioned Divinity Original Sin 2, which is an absolutely wonderful game. But I just haven't wanted to play it because I know for a very definitive fact, I'd like hit the end of content and just be like, well, this is dumb, and lose interest. Actually, what's this necklace do? Nah, it's not that useful. And I don't know. It's just kind of one of those like awkward things that I get to see probably more than a lot of people just because I play so many new games, and because of the like nature of my business, I actually have to generally play every game when it comes out. Let's pick this one up. 30% damage reduction is pretty good. Unless it's not actually reporting that. Oh. Well, that's extra frustrating. Okay. Extra damage on a burning target. Huh. It's kind of tempting to pick up this cluster bomb and go back for the fire grenade. Let's do double cluster bomb here. Let's be a grenadier, I guess. There we go. I'll go with that. But yeah, so I have to deal with this a lot, where it's just like, here's a promising new indie game that's going to be awesome, but it's so incomplete right now, nobody's going to want to really watch it or anything like that. And then, by the way, years later, when the game is finally out and ready to go, nobody wants to watch it anymore. Having that problem with, I mean, kind of Star Crawlers. The first episode did well, and like Cave Blazers, somebody was asking if I was going to play that. Cave Blazers finally came out. And, well, the game's, like, great fun. The audience is already dried up, on my end. So it's just kind of like, I'd love to, but it's just actually bad for my, like, livelihood to go back to these early access games that that never had the audience to begin with because they released too early. And it sucks. Like, actually, that's probably going to be what happens with this game. Years from now when the game finally is complete. Years from now when the game is finally complete, I'm going to probably do a couple of episodes specifically on this game and be like, this game's amazing, remember how fun it was? And everybody's going to be like, nope, and I'm going to be like, well. And that's just going to be the way it is. I don't know. Alright, do we want to do more HP, more strength, or... I don't know. I guess I'll do skills. Like, there are some good examples of games that can kind of transcend the longevity of it. Like Subnautica is a great example, but then again, Subnautica is kind of a masterpiece survival sandbox game to begin with. The only issue with it, I would say, is the fact that it's single player, which sucks, if only because that game would be amazing with friends. Don't Starve, I guess, would be another example of you know, a game that turned out perfectly fine. Despite, that turned out fine despite everything. There we go. Ooh, what do we get? Sadist Sword 2. Not so handy. But like, most other games, you kind of go through the early access period and everybody's like, super jazzed about it. You know, the week or month of the release, and then after that, everybody's just like, well, on to the next game. And that's the problem. There's so many games that it absolutely works that way. That's why, like, unless you're making a sandbox game, generally I'd say never ever release your game early access, period. It's such a risky move. Just not worth it. I don't know. Oh, it wasn't Sadist Sword 2, 6. Sorry, I was looking at the two effects. The two effects weren't very useful. I've also got an Assassin's Dagger 5, so it's not exactly like it's that bad. Force Shield. Yeah, let's go Force Shield. I like the bow, but it's I want to try using the dagger more often. Oh, jeez. I guess this isn't so bad. Okay, it's kind of bad. There we go. But yeah, early access can either be like a YouTuber's like absolute dream, or early access can be kind of a nightmare. And so you end up with like this weird dearth of really good games, or you end up with like an amazing game that everybody wants to watch, and then there's just not enough content to sustain the content the audience is demanding. I'm sure a ton of people know Scrap Mechanic from my channel, or are aware that I played like a shit ton of that game. Oh, that was risky. Ooh, magnetic grenade. Yeah, let's grab the magnetic grenade. Let's get rid of the one that's bonus on burning target. dragging everybody together could be really useful, especially if I'm chucking the, chucking cluster grenades at them and stuff like that. Like, for scrap mechanic, it was a good game. It was legitimately fun and stuff like that. But the audience demand was way, way higher than the actual game could support. Much less, like, most people doing content for it. I mean, there are some people that still do stuff for it, which is great, and good for them. But by the end of it, I was just like, I am just fishing for ideas left and right here, and I can keep doing it forever, but that's the problem. I mean, that's kind of where Minecraft went for a lot of people. That's why you don't run into a whole lot of, like, bigwig Minecraft channels that actually are, like, making it the market anymore. Because the game can no longer sustain, people's interest. But I guess that's more like the audience is drawing up than anything else. I don't know. It's rough. But, just sucks. Oh, hi! Random. Ha! Whoa! I used the magnetic grenade, and I think it actually just ripped the scorpion from the ground. That's kind of hilarious looking. But okay. Let's see. But I don't know. It's just kind of this like weird dumb mess that's really hard to be with like media type people. Let's see. Only up to the 16th episode. Have I unlocked everything yet? Yep, I've unlocked everything the game has to offer. There is nothing else. There's nothing else for me to do here apart from max everything out. Which I'm only really doing because I still find this game enjoyable. If this game was less, like, if the combat wasn't so solid, I think I'd be a lot, faster to drop this game. And we were definitely hitting the point where I'm just gonna run out of content and be like, well, that's the end of it. But that's okay. Let's see. So we've got actually really good stats for this point. Skill's not so great, but I'm not sure if we're going to get the, Oops, probably shouldn't have just immediately burnt through my skills there, but that's okay. This boss turns around way too fast. Okay, take another swing at me, I dare you. Yeah, one issue I have with blocking in this game, especially against bosses where I'd be most inclined to block, is the act of blocking actually has a... Oh, he's got his stupid damage aura on. Well, especially this boss with his dumb shield thing. But there's kind of like a short, like, you blocked period. Which is kind of super frustrating. Because if you want to actually, like, block and counterattack, you actually have to wait until the, you have to wait until the special effect is over. And it's like, no, I want to counterattack immediately. I want to use the fact that the enemy is stunned to my advantage here. No? Crap. Oh, interesting. So you can't block his jump, it just kind of... What the... Ah. Okay, this is where things are going to get kind of risky. Let's heal. This is usually why I go for skill-based runs, because there's not, like, the kind of weird disconnect between design and reality. Oh, that's okay. Music for this boss fight actually ain't half bad. Okay. Whoa, I didn't even see him do the jump, like, jump wind up. Well, it doesn't really matter. Let's see. Was that the sword that you could only have if you had it before the updates? Yeah, the broadsword was the broadsword, as far as I can tell, has been taken out of the game. Broadsword, greatsword, it's the same thing. It's the heavy sword, that's been removed. It makes total sense. It does not fit within this game's, it does not fit within this game's design in the slightest. Like, this game kind of, it feels like it either wants to be two different games. It feels like it wants to be, like, a much faster-paced, like, metroidVania, or Salt and Sanctuary. I don't think it's quite decided which direction it wants to go. because it's got this, like, really cool design, and, like, setup and so on and so forth. But it can't really tell if it really wants to do that. For example, like, even right here, we have, like, these, like, really high stakes enemies that, you know, you have to kill to get past. And so a lot of people have been asking me to do melee in a lot of times, but the problem is it gets very muddy very fast. There's a lot of special effects all over the place, and I'm kind of making it work. Ow. But there are obvious limitations. So especially with all the explosions and the magnetic grenade going off, I can't actually see really what's going on, which is super worrying, because it's just like sometimes the direction an enemy is pointed is, you know, the difference between life and death. Right now I've got enough HP to tank it, but there are other points where it's just like, am I actually hitting this guy or not? And I can't really tell. I got stuck on the chain. This is that's a good example. Getting stuck on a chain, also life and death. As silly as that sounds, you know, you have to have very specific movements, especially if you're fighting like a bunch of, if you're fighting a group of enemies, and you know, some of them can one-shot you, and you get stuck in the chain. Suddenly, you don't have the you don't have control over your character anymore. And there's, it takes a moment to get off, and it takes at least 2 different, separate buttons to actually remove yourself from that situation. Whereas it only takes 1 to get on, which is risky. Okay, Death Orb 4. Ooh, more damage on a burning target. Maybe it wants to go the Sundered direction. Dude, I can't wait for Sundered. Honestly, Sundered, this game also reminds me of Sundered in a very, or Sundered in reverse. I guess I played Sundered first. I actually have Sundered. I could load it up. The only reason why I haven't is because it's currently in beta, and I want all of my decisions to, actually, like, continue. I don't want to just play a beta. Did that with, Prey, and it was fun, but... Okay, did I get him? I think I got him. Okay, stay away from the cannonball of death. But yeah, Sundered is actually a really good metroidvania, because it knows what it wants to be. It wants to be kind of high stakes, but mostly you're just trying to chew through hordes and not die, which is actually really well designed in terms of the gameplay, because you have like a shield, and most of the enemies don't do a lot of damage, but you can get swarmed really easily. Which is like crazy risky, and fun. And I can't wait until I can actually get my hands on that game, or the full version of that game, which should be this summer. I'm a little bit worried that they're going to be releasing mid-summer, just because. Ow, ow, ow! Bad time for being stunned and not having any idea where I am. Okay. Yeah, especially here, I can't even tell which direction my enemies are facing because of the special effects going on. Oh, and they got me stun locked, but that's okay. Extra health or burning target. Oh, burning mace. Burning mace 7. Extra damage on a burning. Yeah, let's go with this. I like the dagger, but this is going to do stupid damage. So what did I think of non-guns? I liked the idea of non-guns, but the fact that it had like this kind of cool, like, proto-Risk of Rain setup, which has its merits. But it was like playing Risk of Rain if your items would decay every once in a while. Like, and you'd lose out on upgrades because you took you were too slow or you took too much damage. It's like, that's really hard to deal with, especially when you have limited time for a roguelike, and it's like, so I have to farm to be able to beat the boss, but I also have to farm to make sure that, like, the decay... Okay. We gotta go back for the dagger. The torch is just too slow for this. Guess I should probably drink a potion, too, now that I'm thinking about it.